America, the world's greatest democracy, and at its heart, the vote, the will of the people. But how do you know if the vote is counted correctly? And if you don't know, then what have you got? Democracy?
When people see what's really going on, there's no way we will allow this to continue.
Back in 2000, Al Gore lost the presidential election in Florida amongst the chaos and arguments over how to recount the votes. But no one thought to ask how the computers originally counted the results. In Volusia County, Florida, an election computer counted Al Gore's totals backwards. He had negative votes.
It was showing a minus sign in front of the votes that it had subtracted from Gore. I mean, it wasn't like it was trying to hide it. It says there's minus 16,022 votes here.
How could a computer that is supposed to protect the votes of you and me count backwards to give a candidate negative votes? The software that counted those votes was owned by Global Election Systems. In 2002, they were bought by the Diebold Corporation. The software is a trade secret. It's against federal and state law to look inside Diebold's voting machines.
I was the chief technical advisor to the Secretary of State of the largest state in the United States, and I was not allowed to look at the software running in Diebold or any other vendor's voting systems. To this day, I have not been allowed to look at that software.
Go to John first. Karen Hughes sounding pretty upbeat right now. John, what are you hearing?
But look, no Republican has ever won the White House without winning Ohio. That is a cliche. We repeat it a lot, but it also happens to be true. They've always said yes, Wisconsin and Iowa. If you look at the voting returns coming in right now, the latest I brought up a few minutes ago, I believe Senator Kerry has a narrow lead in both states.
In America, it is vital that every vote count and that every vote be counted. But the outcome should be decided by voters, not a protracted legal process. I would not give up this fight if there was a chance that we would prevail. But it is now clear that even when all the provisional ballots are counted, which they will be, there won't be enough outstanding votes for us to be able to win Ohio. And therefore, we cannot win this election.
People were stunned. John Kerry had promised to challenge the machines and amassed a network of lawyers to protect the votes. And then, Kerry stopped any investigation by conceding, less than 12 hours after the polls had closed. Cliff Arnebeck, an Ohio election attorney, spoke with John Kerry shortly after.
A call from Senator Kerry comes into the hotel room, which a group of us are there meeting with Reverend Jackson. Reverend Jackson puts his phone on the table, hits speaker, and we're now in a conversation. The first part of the conversation is a dialogue between counsel and Kerry. And part of that dialogue includes Kerry sharing the fact that in New Mexico, no matter what the demographics of the jurisdiction are, if the votes are being counted by optical scan machines, they're coming out for Bush. This is, to anyone who's familiar with the situation, this means Kerry knows there's fraud in that election.
And the optical scan machines are the clue?
Yeah, what he's saying is that it's the optical scan machines are being rigged to produce a result for Bush, contrary to what the votes the voters are casting. So this is not our conspiracy theory. This is not something we have to prove to Kerry. Kerry is sharing this as a matter of fact. Because Kerry conceded, the incredible resources that he had organized for potential post-election litigation was not in the picture.
Kerry conceded, even though the results were from software he knew could be rigged, and the independent exit polls had predicted his victory. Now it was clear that the citizens would have to investigate the election themselves.
The Volusia County warehouse, because we had learned that that's where the real poll tapes or results tapes from the voting machines were going to be. And we wanted to go there by surprise because we wanted to see what they were doing with them.
These were found at the warehouse in the garbage, and these are signed poll tapes, signed off by the poll workers.
Throwing poll tapes away is against federal law. They have